It's pay up or pack up.
It's literally not adding up.
The Shade Room has been following Peter Thomas for years. From the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yo, if I can't have all of her, I want none of her.
To his restaurants, Bar One.
Let's go, Bar One, Baltimore, baby.
And now several people are coming forward.
Close to 4,000.
Almost $5,600.
Claiming their paychecks have been bar none, and there's nothing being done about it. And we just found out the Department of Labor is now getting involved. I'm Justin Carter, this is TSR Investigates. Peter Thomas has been a restaurant machine since the early days of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but it has been a rocky road. In 2014, his Bar One Atlanta, that shuttered after a foreclosure. Then his Sports One Bar and Lounge in Charlotte, that shut down after $237,000 in unpaid taxes. And then if you swing by Bar One in Baltimore, it's empty. And it has been empty since May after employees say they haven't been paid and they stopped showing up to work. And that's why one former general manager decided to step up and speak up about it.
I saw the potential of the business.
And Alicia Hunt says that her objective was to get Bar One Miami on the right track. She was hired as general manager in April 2023, but after only 42 days on the job, Hunt says that she could not take it anymore. She started to see a pattern.
And as I went through all the receipts and the closeouts, I started noticing four things. One, it was no food sales tax. Two, it was no alcohol sales tax. Three, the customer service tips. And four, the mandatory 20% gratuity charge.
She began documenting so she could show Peter Thomas what was really going on.
I bring it to the table in a meeting, and me and Peter get into a verbal confrontation. Like, he's like, "You're a idiot. You've only been at my business for this, and that. All these people have been here. Nobody's ever noticed this."
She says she did her best to remain professional, even in the presence of angry employees who began going 3, 4, 5 weeks without a paycheck. One woman even posted about it on TikTok.
So this lady told me she was going to pay me today in cash because they're under investigation.
These people are here to collect their checks. I need to be able to pay them. And they would be like, they didn't care. I had people sleeping. I had two of the employees that were actually sleeping in an Airbnb with me, as well as one guy that I had to let sleep at night in the restaurant, which I got in trouble for because they hadn't paid him. And it was raining outside. He was literally homeless.
She tried raising money for those employees on GoFundMe, but it backfired, she says, when Peter Thomas found out, and it lit a social media firestorm. He posted this mugshot of her from 18 years ago while accusing Hunt of launching the GoFundMe to scam people. Quote, Alicia Michelle Hunt was hired in spite of her criminal past. Her tender, which I think he means tenure, was roughly 6 weeks when we discovered that she was not a good fit for the brand. She was released and paid in full, end quote. He then shared her paychecks as proof with the caption, paid in full. She says, though, he still owes her $5,600.
He doesn't care.
Malik Joseph says that he had a similar experience with his checks as the executive chef at Bar One Baltimore. He was making over $100,000.
It would always be go to the bank, try to cash it, and then they tell you there's no funds in that account. Our other employees would be in the bank with me. We would all be in there trying to cash out checks, all getting denied access to cash out checks.
He says everything changed in May.
Mother's Day weekend, none of us came in, and they ended up having to close. I think the following week, they brought in some random kitchen staff. It didn't work, so they ended up closing, and I think that was the last weekend that they was open.
You can see a cease and desist notice plastered on their door. The Liquor Control Board says their liquor license expired. Bar One Miami, though, is still open, but the Shade Room did do some digging, and court documents filed in Miami-Dade County show that a number of tax liens on Bar One Miami have been issued of delinquent sales and use tax. This one, $66,155.91. And the most recent, June 7th, 2023, $77,091.03.
I'm still getting emails from a lot of vendors saying, hey, are you able to respond to this email about, past due balances?
You have no idea how unprofessional that this business was ran. You couldn't track any costs. You couldn't track food costs. You couldn't track liquor costs. You couldn't track anything.
We had some questions for Peter Thomas about Bar One, so we reached out to him, and he did respond saying in part, quote, that y'all gonna run with what works for y'all. Now we wanna act like real journalists. At the end of the day, I will still be here, and then what? Y'all look stupid. Been here from 1985 and put on more people that y'all can imagine. We also reached out to the U.S. Department of Labor about Bar One, and they did respond to us saying that they can't comment on specifics, but they did confirm to the Shade Room that their hour and wage division is actively investigating Bar One Miami and is still pending at this time. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter. Hello, roommates, and thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Do you want more TSR Investigates? Be sure to subscribe and check us out at theshaderoom.com.